Well, hello and welcome to all my concept thinkers out there. I go by the name of Mr.JHoward. I'm with Concept Business Success. I'm your expert in marketing, sales, real estate investing, and business strategies. And today, another video, informative extraordinaire. And today, we're going to just have a quick conversation about real estate investing, COVID-19, kind of talk a little bit about, what will it affect? How will it affect it? Investor tips and strategies, maybe go over a little bit of COVID-19 timeline and kind of what that means for the real estate market for investors, rehabbers, wholesalers, and just overall kind of look at that real estate investment and some strategies going on that. Maybe a little bit about the timeline and what am I doing? What am I doing on the property management side, on the real estate side, and just kind of, how we're all going to get through this COVID-19 together. All right, so please remember, before we get started, as always, if this concept content brings you any value, please like, share, and subscribe. I always like to take a moment so you can do that right here, right now. So I'll go ahead and pop that there. Perfect. You'll love this concept, and let's go ahead and get started. Right. So first and foremost, let me say that for everyone, definitely praying for a successful outcome out of this COVID-19. I think that what we have all had, just as in the sense of humanity, is an opportunity to kind of look over some things that maybe we missed out on or maybe we weren't prepared for. A pandemic like this, I don't think anyone was absolutely prepared for, but it has definitely shaken the world. I'm hoping the best outcome for everyone's families, definitely hoping for your safety. Also hoping that everybody is out using common sense, all right, and doing the right things to make sure that they remain healthy throughout this crisis so we can get through it together, right? I'm not gonna play around, but you see, hands should not be touching other hands, right? Let's take it serious, take it to the max, maintain your 4 to 6 feet of distance, do all the things that's not only gonna make sure that your business is successful or has a successful outcome, but that more importantly, that you're healthy and you have a successful outcome outside of this tragic situation. So let's dive right into it. So I've fielded a ton of questions just from family, friends, some people that I've done some coaching sessions with, customers, etc., calling in, messaging, and just kind of talking about how will this COVID-19 affect the real estate market. I've done a ton of research. I've heard from many different people just kind of their take on how this whole thing is going to play out and kind of what some of the experts are leaning towards. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and especially with this being something that no one expected, kind of came out of nowhere in a sense, and the real estate market and understanding the way how our economy was already. Some people felt really good about the real estate market, but they didn't think that our economy had such a solid foundation. You see the stock market is reacting, and different things like that. So people want to know, is it safe to play in real estate? I can tell you, just based on my own experience and my own research, a simple answer to that question of will this affect the market is yes. It absolutely will. I can tell you just out of my own current deals right now, I have 2 deals that are in closing. We're moving on some properties that we have on the market, different things like that. And here's what I'm experiencing. I'm seeing closing delays from title companies getting back with us on getting the title search done. I'm seeing survey delays, attorneys, lenders' response time has been pretty steady, understanding that everybody kind of has limited staff. I know for my staff is mostly working virtual, but I'm going in and out the office every once in a while, get the good opportunity to work from home, get out some new content and videos. So I'm taking full advantage of that, but making sure that I communicate that with my customers so they do understand. I don't see any hindrances as far as basic business operations since we do live in such a digital world. But in the event that there are some delays, I did want all of my customers and clients to understand that and be mindful of that moving forward. So One of the things that I recommend for all of you investors, real estate professionals, people looking to get involved in real estate, because I know a lot of people are running away from the stock market and they're thinking, man, this is probably the absolute best time to go ahead and get involved in real estate. I'm not going to tell you no. What I'm going to tell you is be prepared to give yourself extra time for your deals. Make sure that your strategy is on point. Plan it out properly, so as you're going along, especially if you're managing that project, you understand that there may be some delays when it comes to vendors. There's definitely going to be delays, and like I said, anything dealing with the closing process, but also be mindful that your vendors, your contractors, they want to be safe as well. They have families to go home to also. So understanding that this is business, this is regular business, this is how a lot of us feed our family. Business must go on, and if you live in a state where business is allowed to go on, I won't say as normal, because nothing's normal right now, but cautiously, right, business is allowed to go on, and you do so, you know, obviously using extreme common sense and safety measures and proper PPE, etc. Then just make sure that you're ready to be patient, understanding everybody's circumstance is different. Here's a key bit of advice I will tell you while we're in this will it affect the mark section. Don't panic. Right? Do not panic. Encourage others to do the same thing. When you're speaking with vendors, when you're speaking with closing personnel, whether it's title companies, attorney, etc., make sure that you're sharing some love over the phone or via email, more than ever before. Right? A kind word goes a long way, especially in this real estate market. Understanding that there are so many uncertainties and there's so many questions that are unanswered right now. We do need to make sure that we're sharing love. We're not panicking. We're making sure people know that we're not panicking. And also keep in mind that you have to be realistic, right? Understand, like I said, that there's going to be delays coming from places that you've never seen delays for. I know, especially on the title piece, I'm going to keep harping on that because this kind of applies all over, right? If you're dealing with closing a real estate sale, all right, we have realtors in our office. If you're dealing with some property management, we have property managers in our office. We have some wholesalers, and then of course some fix and flip. So all across the board, there's some form of closing that's involved in that. So in that sense, you have to realize that with those delays, that could run people away, right? It could also give people a sense of urgency. So you really just have to find that unique balance. I know there's a ton of different measures that we put out, even on the property management side, where we're doing virtual showings and making sure that customers are still able to see properties if they feel the need to see properties right now, or they're moving or going through that process. But we're also keeping our property managers safe. Same thing with dealing with home sales and flipping properties. So definitely be realistic and be reasonable. Be mindful of the fact that there's other things going on in the world right now. So I know the next big question that I've been getting a lot is, how will it affect the market? I could tell you there's some excitement in the market right now, and again, just really finding that balance. All right, understanding that interest rates are lower, people. Interest rates are indeed lower, and though I do believe that we're seeing some increase, I know that inside of our investor group we've been chatting a lot about it back and forth. But be mindful that while buying power is up, inventory is still low, so the demand is high. But there are more buyers that are hitting the market. So if you are a realtor, property manager, or a wholesaler, I will tell you, get listings. Up your marketing right now. Get listings on the market. Again, be mindful of your end goal for those listings. If you're selling a property, if you are wholesaling a property, or whatever the case may be, just making sure that you have an end goal and you have a strategy. With fear, some people will try to wait and they'll try to see it out until prices drop, right? So that could impact various different your business in various different ways. What I would tell you is, just someone with a background in marketing, is enhance that value opportunity, right? Cling to the motivations, right? What is the appeal that is going on to make that person want to sell their property or want to do a real estate deal with you or transaction? And then just make sure that you're really kicking on to that and clinging to those motivations and pushing them to actually get that deal under contract, so you can move forward with that real estate transaction. People will be worried about job security within this process, especially with so many things about stimulus packages and all these other kind of things coming out to help, it's actually worrying a lot more people while their job or whatever situation that they work for, however they earn income, tries to figure out a way to keep the workplace safe, keep money coming in, keep customers satisfied. And while they're finding out that balance, yes, there are some layoffs going on. Until that balance is actually working proper, you're going to see some of that. That impact alone is going to make people want to slow down the buying process, just because they want to make sure that their paychecks are secure. So even though that the interest rates are lower, that they're ready for that mortgage. So be mindful about that. And it's not really much that we can do as real estate professionals on that, except for just do some research for that possible client, and kind of help them through that process while they're kind of figuring it out. Plenty of motivated buyers that are ready to connect to motivated sellers already, that you're not going to have to convince that now's the time to buy, or now's the time for them to get out of go through with a cash deal to wholesale a property. So just again, up your marketing, make sure that you're communicating with people, with your customers and clients. So investors can now turn and buy low. However, be cautious, because fixer investors such as myself be much more conservative to find big margin deals, right? And what do I mean by that? That means that some deals that I would look at and I would say, okay, this is my in, this is my out, and it was a smaller margin. Right now, as an investor, one of the things that I'm trying to make sure that I pay close attention to is seeing how I can expand that margin. And here's why. Because I want a lower risk to ensure that my cash flow is present in the event that there's no quick sale. All right, so in that case, if I'm buying a property on the low end and I plan on putting a couple $1,000s into it to fix and flip it and get it back on the market, I want to make sure that there's enough profit margin there that I can create cash flow if I don't flip that property as fast as I want to, i.e. keep it as a rental property, maybe put it up as a vacation rental. I want to make sure that that cash flow is going to be steady to help me take care of whatever note or whatever other debt that I have on that property, to keep it so where it's not incurring even more debt for me as an investor. I would say for you wholesalers out there, for any real estate professional, you make sure that your end buyer or your client is aware of that, and make sure that they're mindful of it. I would tell you, don't make it a secret, right? Because the last thing that you want to do is try to put people in a deal that they're not going to be comfortable with, or that may not turn out for the best for them. And if it's your client and you're proud of the business that you do, you want the best outcome for your clients just as you do for yourself. The next thing that I've seen a lot of questions and conversation about has been on timeline. How long is this COVID-19 thing going to last? The coronavirus, when is it going to go away? Is there cures, different things like that? Listen, who knows, right? I think one of the key things that we can do throughout this time is express that during this time of concern, that we're hopeful that it's only going to last in a short time frame, but we also want to be realistic, understanding that with any medicines or vaccination, there's different trials and things that are going to go on, and this stuff is just going to take time, right? Finding cures and making sure that we amplify people who have had it and they're immune, or whatever the case may be, just giving the scientists time to do the things that they need to. In between that time, the best thing we can do obviously is pray, and just make sure that we're building our business with extreme research and ensuring that we're doing successful deals. We want to understand that the worst is a possibility, right? But of course, we're not aiming for that. That's definitely not a goal. But we still want to conduct business to make sure that we're able to put food on the table too. I had a comment from a young man that said they felt bad putting out wholesale deals and ads and signs outside, and just really conducting their overall wholesale business while this tragic time was going on. And for just like I told that young man, I'm going to tell all of you, don't do that, right? I would say that if not anything, people respect the fact that you understand that you still have a family to feed and you still have obligations that you have to meet, even while we're going through these trying times. And at the same time, we again want to be mindful of the fact that we are taking into consideration what is going on in the world. But just like different stores and different things like that, there's not materials that are going out for free. Your services shouldn't be free, but you should be making sure that you're balancing out, how you can help the community, how you can help a customer, at the same time still be able to conduct business and take care of what you need to. So having a heart and making sure that you still have something in your bank account can be on the same level. So don't run away from that. And then, of course, the number one question that I've been getting as of late is, what am I doing? Am I staying away from real estate? Am I taking advantage of the time, again, to post more video and content? And the answer is no, I'm not staying away from real estate. I am actually turning it up a notch while we have this downtime, because there are people out there that some quick cash to close on a property, distressed property, is absolutely what they need right now. Something that maybe work has been taking them away from being able to focus on it for a long period of time, and now they realize, look, I got a little bit of extra time on my hand. Again, we're doing all virtual business right now, and we can get the deal done virtually. So make sure you reach out to me if you have a deal, mostly in South Carolina, upstate area, but we are trickling down into Lawrence, Spartanburg, Woodruff, Anderson, just a little bit. But reach out to me. We are doing virtual deals, and most wholesalers, and I encourage all of you to be able to take on business as such, because there are people out there who need it right now. Some quick cash will help their situation. Not only that, just making sure that you turn your marketing to not be so insensitive to the fact that coronavirus is going on, but acknowledging the fact that you are here to help. I like to say every single real estate transaction that I do is in place to help someone else, not only to help build our business, but also that family, friend, coworker, whatever the case may be, that is looking for help with their real estate transaction. So I'm keeping it going. I'm making sure that I run the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times if I need to. I'm getting closings. I'm making sure that Gcash, everybody knows my little giraffe, is all over the place. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Talking to people, my little virtual agent, and making sure that they understand we are open. All right. I'm expressing that it's possible delays to everyone that I come in contact with, regardless. Even if I have a phone call, which I have one here at 2 p.m. coming up shortly, and even told that client, be prepared for me to be late. All right, of course, that's not going to be my goal. I'm going to try to be on time, but understanding that so many things are happening in different places. Another meeting or phone call may run over and take me away from that for a couple minutes. So just make sure that you're taking that into your business while you operate during COVID-19, right? So I hope that these 5 tips, 4 or 5 tips that we just kind of went over for real estate investing in COVID-19 kind of helps you get through the season. I know it's very early on, and we don't know how long this season is going to last. So I'll make sure that I continue to post content as rates continue to change, and as operations continue to enhance, to make sure that you can still meet the customer demand. I'll post some new tips and strategies, maybe even go over some softwares and different things that I'm using to kind of get through and manage my task, and how the team is making sure that we keep everything lined up. So until next time, my concept thinkers, thank you so much. Again, I go by Mr.JHoward. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, give me some tips, right? I like it. We'll share it all together, and we'll continue to move forward. Until next time, thanks.